Have you ever felt a chill down your spine when you're alone late at night? I used to think it was just my imagination until that happened. As a therapist, I've heard all sorts of bizarre tales, alien abductions, claims of mastering dark magic. I always kept my composure and professionalism until he sat across from me. His name was Andrew, a seemingly ordinary man, except for one chilling sentence he uttered that day. "She's in the walls." At the time, I thought it was just another one of his attention-seeking ploys, especially since he'd previously mentioned casting evil curses. I suppressed the urge to roll my eyes, maintaining a calm expression, and asked, "What exactly do you mean by she's in the walls?" I even tried to reassure myself, thinking maybe he just had rats or geckos in his house. But Andrew's next words sent a chill down my spine instantly.
"After I killed her, I hid her body behind the walls and bricked them up again."
My blood felt like it froze. I tried to stay calm, my hands trembling as I opened the communication app on my computer and sent an urgent message to the clinic manager.
"Potentially dangerous client. Prepare emergency protocols."
Andrew seemed to notice my shock. He calmly continued,
"The nightmare started a day after I killed her and sealed her behind the walls."
He detailed how he stalked the woman, how he became convinced she was
evil,
and how he attacked her with a rock on a quiet morning path, then carried her to his car. It was all so casually recounted, as if he were talking about someone else's story. At that moment, I was still desperately trying to convince myself that he was just seeking attention or testing my reaction. After all, carrying an unconscious adult woman to a car didn't sound as easy as he made it out to be.
"Why are you telling me this?"
I asked, trying to sound natural. Andrew's eyes were filled with a terrifying sincerity, and he said, word for word, "Because of the nightmares. They wouldn't stop. I tried not to tell you about it, but I realized I need you to know so you can give me proper help." In that instant, I suddenly believed him. Every word he spoke carried a sick certainty. My fingers flew across the keyboard. "Call the police, tell them a client just confessed to murder. Might be dangerous right now. Get them down here." On the surface, I was still pretending to take notes, but my mind was churning.
"The nightmares, yes. Tell me more about them. You said they were vivid. That you would wake up screaming. What did you dream about?"
I tried to stall for time, also with a touch of morbid curiosity.
"Just her face, right in front of mine. She would start off looking terrified, the way she looked when I slit her throat. Then she would grin. A wicked grin. She was a wicked, evil woman."
He uttered these words casually. I almost gasped, but managed to control my expression. He killed someone, yet claimed the victim was evil? My stomach churned. Just then, the clinic door opened, and 2 police officers stepped in. I was relieved. They hadn't sounded sirens or made a fuss. Andrew was cuffed and let out. Just before he left, he turned, looked at me calmly, a satisfied smile on his face, and winked. That look, as if we shared some unspeakable secret. My heart sank. There was no fear in that gaze, only a terrifying sense of foreknowledge. That night, I went home, took a shower, and had some wine, trying to put the crazy day behind me. I slept fitfully, flashes of Andrew's satisfied gaze and eerie wink appearing in my dreams. Then, a persistent scratching sound began to echo in my ears, but I couldn't locate its source. The next day, the police showed up again. They asked me,
"Do you know Anita?"
"Anita? My former boss? That vicious woman who had once made my life a living hell?" My heart tightened, and a terrible premonition washed over me. "Did you kill Anita?" the officer asked expressionlessly. My mind went blank, and I stammered, "No, not me." In that instant, I understood. The woman in the walls was Anita.
"He denies everything. He says you hypnotized him, messed with his mind, and that's when his nightmares started."
The officer's words pierced me like a knife. Hypnosis? It was EMDR therapy. That bastard, Andrew, completely twisted everything. Even worse, The police showed me my social media account, full of posts attacking Anita, even with my photo, but it wasn't my account at all. My Wi-Fi password had also been leaked, and all the evidence pointed to me. That night, my doorbell camera,
conveniently,
went offline too. I was completely framed. I had thought my innocence would quickly clear my name, but it turned out that's not how the legal system works. My life, almost in an instant, was destroyed. I was released on bail and put under house arrest. That night, numbed by alcohol, I lay in bed, trying to escape this nightmare. The scratching sound started again, clearer this time, as if it was a centimeter from my ear. I recoiled from the wall, collapsing onto the bed. Then, a faint whisper emerged, muffled and indistinct, hidden by the scratching. I desperately told myself it was all hallucinations from stress and alcohol. But the scratching never stopped. I couldn't sleep at all. A few minutes later, a faint humming sound began, gradually growing louder until it resembled electrical static. It even drowned out the scratching. I struggled to get up, to flee the house, but my body was completely paralyzed. I couldn't even open my eyes, screaming silently until I thought my lungs would burst. Then I had a dream. Or so I thought. I saw her, behind my closed eyelids. Anita knelt before me, begging for her life. An arm reached out, my arm. I grabbed Anita by her arm and struck her already bleeding head with a rock. She collapsed to the ground, like a puppet with its strings cut. I stood over her, a sinister grin on my face, a knife glinting in my hand. I knelt down and placed the knife against Anita's throat. I couldn't stop myself, I couldn't will my hand to stop, nor could I wipe the grin from my face. A dark mass rushed me from the side, and I toppled over.
You killed me!
Someone was screaming. I saw blood on the knife in my hand. I woke up screaming, my shirt drenched in perspiration. Hours later, the police showed up again. They told me they had found my prints on Anita's arm, exactly where I had seen myself grab her in the dream. I couldn't explain it anymore. I knew for a fact, with every fiber of my being, that I didn't do it. Andrew had set me up, but how could he have accessed my bedroom walls? How could he invade my dreams? They arrested me. I was held for weeks before a judge finally granted me bail, placing me under house arrest until my case was tried. Just then, I received a text from Andrew.
Do you know what's real?
I froze. I immediately tried to screenshot it as evidence, but just a minute later, the text had vanished into thin air. Perhaps I truly don't know what's real anymore. Perhaps I'm genuinely losing my mind. For the next few months, I was confined to my home. My life was ruined, my reputation shattered. Even more terrifying, every night, the scratching continued, and the nightmares kept coming. Anita's face, sometimes twisted in rage, sometimes in agony. Andrew's grin, appearing again and again in my dreams. These dreams were so vivid, so real, they were starting to feel like my own memories. I don't know how much longer I can endure this. Perhaps I should just give in. Perhaps I should confess, and then, perhaps death is the only escape.